I know what you're thinking. Some men are just absolutely ridiculous, right? You go out with them, things seem cool, and next thing you know, they're gone. They disappear. And you're like, what the hell just happened? Well, I'm going to explain to you what happened and give you the top reasons why men disappear on you. So again, I know this is extremely frustrating experience for a lot of women. You know, they have a word for it. It is called ghosting. And a lot of people have been ghosted, men and women, and it can be a hurtful experience. It can be very frustrating, very confusing. And so I want to help clear up some of this confusion, but I also want you to make sure you listen to all the way to the end because I have a very specific, important message you need to hear about this specific topic. So, number one, he likes you, but he's too damaged. The reality is that there are going to be men sometimes that meet you and you may be more than they expected as far as how good you are, how much they like you, and they're not emotionally ready. They recognize that they cannot give you what you deserve, all right? And so believe it or not, I think a lot of women don't realize that a man who genuinely likes you and genuinely respects you may pull away because he feels like you deserve better. And it's not a cop-out. I'm not saying no man has ever used that as a cop-out, but there are men who are genuinely feeling that way. Like, you know what? You deserve a better me or a better person than me, and I'm not there yet. So I'm just going to walk away. And again, it's not right that they disappear, but the disappearing is because it's easier. Bottom line. But at the core of it is a man who is damaged, a man who does not see his own value, a man who needs to work through his own issues. And to be honest with you, he's doing you a favor. All right. And though I would want him to handle it better and being open and honest about that, all right, we have to realize that some people aren't going to find the strength to do it. So ultimately, it does happen. It can happen, but it's just one of those unfortunate situations. You know what I'm saying? So he can like you, but he's too damaged. And for that, he walks away from the situation and walks away from you. So this one's about you, and that is you did not reciprocate or show desire, all right, and interest. So essentially, what's happening to a lot of women is you're going on these dates, you're engaging with these men, and you're having this wait and see approach. So it's essentially, show me you're worthy. Show me that you're good enough. You're on these dates like, all right, what you got for me? Well, give it your best shot. And it's like, but wait a minute here. You're supposed to be giving your best shot too. You're supposed to be expressing interest and desire too. It isn't just on him. So what can happen is if a man is now making his effort, he's showing interest, he's showing desire, but you're holding back. And again, to you, you may feel like, well, it's fair for me to hold back. I need to make sure he's for real, but you don't realize how you're sabotaging the situation. And so now as time goes on, he starts to question, is she serious about me? Does she really like me? Is she using me? You have to understand that men have been through things too. So if he's already willing to show the effort and desire, the least you can do is match it. I'm not saying you got to go above and beyond, but at least you want to match his energy and match his effort so that he understands you are as invested in this as he is. But so many situations, and some of y'all have experienced this, where you see a man going hard, maybe first month, 2 months, maybe even 3 months, all right, doing everything right. And then boom, gone. Either gone or he drops the good behavior, all right, and starts to not really be emotionally present anymore. And some of you may think, oh, well, he was just playing games. Listen, in most cases, he didn't go hard for 2-3 months just to play games. There's a very good chance he genuinely liked you, but he can't keep pouring into you if you're not pouring back. So you really want to ask yourself, was I also showing interest and desire? Was I matching his effort? Because again, if he starts to think you're not serious, then he ghosts you, not only because it's easy, but he thinks you don't care anyway. He doesn't think he's that relevant in your life that his disappearance will cause any problems. And I've seen situations where men really genuinely thought the woman was not interested and said, I'm just going to leave her alone. Left the woman alone, and then he hears maybe through the grapevine or whoever that she's upset because he left her hanging. And he's thinking, well, dang, she never showed me anything that said she actually liked me or that she was appreciating my effort. So I didn't know. I thought it wasn't a problem. I thought I'm doing her and me a favor by letting go. So be sure to be mindful of that. And again, stop holding back so much. You got to let those walls down. You got to let that love, that positive energy flow freely. And if you're having struggles with that, heal, and heal some more. So number 3 is an event occurred that caused them to shut down. All right. So the unfortunate, ugly truth is that there are a lot of men who do not know how to function when they're going through things. All right. So I've seen a lot of situations where men, it could be a death in the family. It could be, I remember one situation where a man failed his bar exam. It could be various things that went wrong that were really hurtful to him, that he internalized or whatever. And rather than just talk to you, he went and hid in his corner and he shut down and he disappeared. All right. And again, it had nothing to do with you. It's just that this is a man who does not know how to, because this is a very vulnerable moment for him. He's hurt. He's dejected. He's damaged. He's destroyed. He's devastated. And he does not know how to present that to a woman, because some men have had experiences where they tried and that woman used it against them later. That woman threw it back in their face. So a lot of men are already hesitant due to previous bad experiences when it comes to opening up to women. Now, of course, I would want men to heal and get to a place where they can still be open and vulnerable and transparent. But I'm just explaining to you the reality of what happens. So some men go through these things and they fall off the face of this earth. And some of y'all have seen these situations where he falls off and then months later, he pops back up. And again, sometimes you feel like, oh, it's him playing games. And I'm not saying there aren't men who aren't playing games out there. I'm just saying some of those situations, a lot more than you may think, are genuinely a matter of things happening. He did not know how to handle it and he mishandled things. And I would say this, if he does pop back up, and you're going to consider giving him a chance, you need to make it clear at that point, all right, that, hey, if anything ever happens again that you're struggling with, you've got to be willing to talk. Because if you do this again, there will be no other chances. There will be no other opportunities. Some of you might say, well, hell no, he shouldn't even get a second chance. Listen, calm down, pray about it, talk to God. Some situations need to be reconciled, and some of them are just, thank God he left the first time. He didn't belong there anyway. But understand that if you do let him back in, for whatever the reason is, you make sure you establish that going forward, this is unacceptable behavior, and we have to talk to each other. All right? So now let me give you the bonus before I give you my special extra message. All right? Many people are engaging in sexual relations, so we got to talk about it. We got to talk about it. And so what's happening in a lot of situations is that, yeah, you had sex too soon. When I say you had sex too soon, I mean that in a couple ways. I mean, number one, too soon to evaluate what this man was really about. So you didn't give yourself time to discover that he was Mr. Not Really Serious. You didn't give yourself time to discover that he was Mr. Damaged. You know what I'm saying? You didn't give yourself time to realize he may not have wanted the same things that you wanted. And you jumped into intimacy, or that level of intimacy, too soon and too fast. And so now when he disappears, you don't understand why, but it's because those other things applied. He just was never trying to do anything more than have sex. And had you given yourself more time to at least understand what's really going on here, then you would have a better chance of avoiding that outcome. Here's another thing to consider. You had sex too soon, and therefore it wasn't good. And so he left. Now listen, I'm not trying to be hurtful. I love y'all. I really love y'all. But I'm going to be real with y'all. Every woman swears their sex is amazing, right? And it's not always the case. But here's an important thing to understand. I'm not saying that to insult you. I'm saying that to bring awareness to the fact that some of you are jumping into bed with men before you're truly comfortable, all right? And because you're not truly comfortable, you're not going to be your best in the bedroom. One of the keys to a woman having great sex is being comfortable, being free, not having to have the worries of, am I doing this too soon? Think about this, that, and the other. Because a lot of y'all are in your own heads, so you really can't even perform well or enjoy the experience, all right? So if you jump in too soon when you have not reached a level of comfortableness with doing this, again, and it's your decision as a grown adult when you want to do it. But if you haven't at least reached a place where you are truly comfortable with it, your performance is affected. And yes, he will judge you on that. Yes, he will lay with you and say, this wasn't that great. And why would I want to continue with this woman? Because people sex is important to a lot of men. You know, even if he's looking for marriage, he wants to know that he can have good sex with this woman. And so if you engage in that experience very soon, you're leaving it up for evaluation, essentially. All right. And so you want to make sure if you're going to step into that arena, you are truly at peace and comfortable with it. All right. And one thing I always tell women, regardless of what your beliefs are, whether it's wait till marriage or whatever, at the very least, do not have sex with him until you are okay with what's going to happen next. So what I mean by that is if you have sex with him and now he stops calling you or he disappears, and that's going to hurt you bad because deep inside you were having sex hoping that he would like you more. You were having sex hoping to have him hold on to you longer. All right. So you were having sex with very wrong intentions, so to speak, rather than just trying to enjoy the experience. And so now when you don't get what you were hoping to get, you feel cheated, you feel used, you feel devalued. All right. That's a bad place to be. So I want you to, at the least, again, the ideal is waiting till marriage. Abstinent is a great thing to do. Seriously, it is. But if you're going to engage, make sure you are comfortable. You know, make sure that you can bring your best self to the table. Make sure you are okay with whatever happens next. And you can be at peace. So that means you are doing it because you want to do it for the experience. All right. That should be the only reason if you're going to do it sooner than marriage or whatever. Bottom line, because you don't want to be in that bad position. All right. But yes, having sex too soon can definitely lead to him disappearing. He got what he wanted and now he's out. So ultimately, again, the special measure, the main thing I need you to understand is at the end of the day, you're not always going to know. You're simply not always going to receive the closure of him verbally stating or writing you a letter or whatever, letting you know exactly what happened. And so it's important for you to rather focus on the possible reasons why he disappeared, because some of you who have had this happen, you're racking your brain, driving yourself crazy, trying to analyze what could it have been, what could it have been, what could it have been. Stop. We don't know. But what we can know is this. It's a blessing. Because whether it's he wasn't ready, he wasn't serious, he's damaged, he's shut down, whatever it is, there was no way you're going to have a healthy relationship with this man right now. And if it was issues stemming from things that you could do better, then that means you need more time to prepare anyway. All right. So you know what? Him stepping away can shed light on what can I improve upon myself to again, increase my chances of better results. But ultimately, do not internalize a man disappearing on you. But yes, so don't internalize it to now lower your value or question yourself. Why am I not good enough? None of that. We don't do that here. But we are always willing to say, you know what? I could have handled that better. Or I could do this better next time. Or, you know, if it's a sex thing, you know what? Let me give myself more time next time so I know what I'm dealing with. That's always a good thing. But do not internalize it. Do not allow it to now bring you into a negative place. Do not dwell in it. Accept it for what it is. Focus on the positives, move forward, and walk into the blessings that are waiting for you. Be sure to like this video, share it, subscribe to this channel, and leave your comments below. What do you think is a reason why men disappear on women? All right. Hey, thank you for watching this video. Be sure to check this one out right here, and I'll see you there. Some men will be lessons, and some men will just be a waste of your time. And one man will be the man that God has for you. And I want you to know that this man does exist, but you need to learn how to recognize him